what was the prep like for the day of? What were you taking into consideration to make sure that the ceremony was good and complete? Are there things that, you have to have? And how would you go about finding those things? I'm thinking of things like the
Vows.
vowels. There's going to be some type of intro. There's going to be some type of dismissal. And then what are the nice to haves? And how do you go about thinking of and or finding those things using ChatGPT or Google or your brain or whatever?
I think
So
your
wedding
standard,
content creation.
yeah, I think your standard have to haves is some type of wedding welcome, like the intro you mentioned, which can be like literally whatever you want it to be. So that's where I did most of the writing for the wedding, and I did most of the creation, the drafting, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But then you typically, and nothing's a have to have at a wedding, but typically you see vows. There are many traditional vows out there, and you can write your own vows. Traditional vows, there's like 42 versions of those. So, go find your favorites, ask the couple if they care. To each their own.
Okay, so if there's 42 different versions, I'm assuming we're going to be going from like super religious, ultra traditional vows all the way to non-religious, like secular, almost vague. So how do you go about, is there just a website with all 42 versions on it that people can peruse, or would you recommend any sort of like keyword searches?
Maybe keyword searches would be good, and it probably depends on what type of vows you want. When I meant like, there's a bunch of like when you put traditional vows into Google, you will get different variations, but they're all like, is it to have and to hold or have and hold? like the dumb filler words are really what gets changed in some of those. But the overall meaning and flow of it, they were all pretty much similar. But then, yeah, you have other various ends of the spectrum as far as how religious or not.
I shouldn't have interrupted you. What are more like things that are typically gonna exist in the wedding?
The next is the declaration of intent. So that is your I do's or I wills or whatever you want to do. I've seen some different variations from different weddings. I just had them say their I do's. Do you take so-and-so to be your lawfully wedded person? Blah, blah, blah. So that part of it. I've also seen people incorporate the wedding parties that are there of like, does this group say that they will have and hold and support this couple as they grow and nourish, blah, blah, blah. We will. Whatever you want. Then after the declaration of intent, then you have your proclamation. And the proclamation is the officiant saying, I proclaim by the power invested in me by the state of Ohio and whatever online church I signed up for, you are now partners.
Okay.
And that's typically where the kiss then goes in before the couple comes off. So those are like your have to haves. And then people add lots of things in there. Typically you'll see unity ceremonies, which is like, we lit candles, we watered flowers, we poured sand, we wrote in a book together. So many things there. And then readings are really common, and you can have as many of those as you want. Hand fastings are like another thing that I feel like I see commonly, but haven't actually seen at a wedding. And then I'm sure there's a plethora of other things you can incorporate into a ceremony. Okay.
So we talked about your interactions with the couple. Now we talk about the content of the wedding, and my next question is a marriage of those two things.
Yeah.
You have the content, you need to run it by the couple, and I want to keep this in like lessons learned or advice you would give others. I think the only thing that I think would be somewhat obvious that I could use it as an example here is like asking the couple what names you would like them to say, what that you would like to say. Like, okay, so we've been talking about John and Kinsey. his real name is Jonathan. Her real name is Mackenzie. Do they want their real names? Do they want their nicknames? Do they want to mix and match kind of a thing? When it comes to the rest of the content, is there any advice you would give people for molding this to the couple or interacting with the couple to figure out the content?
Yeah. I was thinking about like what I would put in a questionnaire to like ask this if everyone was like, you need to make this a business model and start marrying people. And I was like, that sounds ridiculous. And then I was like, well, I live really close to Hocking Hills. I could do a lot of elopements out there. But to your point, like in a questionnaire, I would ask, and I wouldn't schedule them. I would just like ask the questions. You could ask the couples separately or together, depending on what vibe works for you. But what they want to be called is important. Any language you want them to avoid, especially given like a lot of the nods to like people are property that happens in weddings, and I don't like that vibe. So like making sure that the couple feels the same or doesn't feel the same, or how they want to be pronounced. Do you want to be Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so? Do you want to be your first names and just a married couple? Like so many different ways to be pronounced. How long you want the ceremony to be. Some people really want short. Some people don't want to miss the drama of the moment. Duxie would like in on this shindig. You want to deep breathe a little bit harder there, bud? I would ask what type of religious content or non-religious content they would like in the wedding. This is where I think they needed the most help and support.
Yeah, that one can be difficult because weddings aren't necessarily just about you, the couple. A lot of it is a give and take with making sure the parents are going to get what they want because parents are opinionated. And then you're going to be having old people come to your wedding. So they're going to have different values and traditions than you. And you got to throw them a bone. And a good call out.
Yeah. And it is about you, but also how much do you want to deal with hearing from them afterwards? And John and Kenzie were like, we don't want to hear from them. I was like, great, I can make that disappear. And then I had like some ideas that were, I'm going to call them non-traditional, but they're really not non-traditional. But like I wanted to do a meditation in the thing because that felt very on brand for them. So like I pitched that idea to them, and then it got pitched to the moms and the parents to kind of come back of like, ooh, do we like this? Do we not? And I did all of that before I even wrote it.
Okay. Did you talk to the moms or did you let the couple talk to the moms?
I talked to my mom because that was easy.
I'm guessing if you weren't marrying your brother,
that would be different.
Probably let the couple talk to their families. Okay, so